All right, I decided to do a spontaneous live tonight. I'm making chicken pesto gorgonzola. All the kids are out of the house, my husband included. So I had all of the ingredients. I was gonna be making dinner tonight, and then I just decided, like, what the heck, let's go ahead and make it. So that way I can store it on IGTV and you guys can see it whenever you'd like. The recipe for this, it's chicken pesto gorgonzola, is on my site, which is linked in my bio. It's aliromero.com. And this is a recipe that's kind of near and dear to my heart because one of my favorite things to do, hi guys, hi everyone. One of my favorite things to do when I go out to eat, if I have a dish that kind of like blows me away, I like to come home, try to recreate it, figure out, like, pick it apart. What was that? What was in it? How can I make this at home? So that I can, we can have it again and I can make it and maybe even make it a little bit better. I don't know. So this was a recipe that was from one of our favorite Italian restaurants, and surprisingly, even the kids love it. It's chicken pesto gorgonzola. Yes, it's gorgonzola cheese, so it always surprised me. I mean, the kids were eating this at like age 4, and they would order it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. So that's why I knew it had to be something I came home and kind of recreated for the family. So I have no idea how close it is to the original. I only know that it's a hit around our house. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and hello to everyone. Thanks for joining. I know it's so spontaneous, and just appreciate you being here, and let's get cooking. All right, so what I do is I have 3 chicken breasts that actually I've sliced through horizontally, and I did that so that it just finishes cooking a little bit quicker, and then I can chop it up into smaller pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and just salt the chicken. I'm gonna end up salting it on both sides. I'm just giving it one side, and when I get it in the pan, I will salt the other side. So I'm gonna get a pan started on medium-high heat. And the reason I start the pan without anything in it is that for stainless steel, and if you've heard this trick before, one of the ways that you can cook in stainless steel and kind of make it sort of like a non-stick is to create like a cooking barrier. And the way to do that is 3 specific steps. So if you heat your stainless steel dry for just a couple of minutes, not like over high or anything, but just over like a medium-ish heat, and then you add in your cooking fat. So whether that's, in this case, extra virgin olive oil or butter or whatever it is you want to use, then you let that heat up, and then you add your protein. You'll create a barrier and kind of more of a non-stick surface. Hi everyone, thanks for being here. You create kind of a non-stick surface so that you can cook your proteins and then they won't stick. But it's really important to do all 3 steps in a row. So we've got the pan preheating. Like I said, it's over like a medium-high heat. I've got the chicken salted on one side, and then once I lay it in the pan, I'm gonna salt the other side. And then we'll get going on the rest of the recipe. So if you have any questions, I would love to make this as interactive as possible. You wanna talk about Great Food Truck Race, I'll tell you what I can, which is about anything episodes that have been seen. I hope that you guys are watching. Sunday night was just episode 3 in Homer, which was one of, I think, all of our favorite places. It was the most beautiful, amazing little seaside village, and we had a blast. So anyway, if you're watching Great Food Truck Race, I would love to hear about it. If you have any questions about that, like I said, of any episodes that have aired so far, let's chat about it. If you have any other cooking questions, I'm more than happy to answer those too. So we've got the pan preheating. I'm gonna go ahead and add in some extra virgin olive oil. And I'll bring you over in just a minute here when I have a free hand, but nothing exciting to see yet. So that's just adding in the extra virgin olive oil, and then the chicken is going in. So once I give that a chance to just kind of heat up a little bit, then I know I can add the chicken. And then I give it a chance to set, and then it won't stick. Even though it's not non-stick and it's stainless steel, it'll do its magic. All right, so I'm just gonna do 4 at a time. I don't wanna crowd the pan because sorry, I'm gonna have to turn that on just for a minute. It's gonna be loud in here. If you crowd the pan, you do 2 things. You bring the oil temperature down so you're not enabling enough of the browning, and it's just not, the oil temperature that we wanna be at. So I'm gonna just add 4 now, and I'll cook the other 2 later. Actually, those are probably, it's gonna be plenty to make the pasta, so we'll figure that out later. But I gotta wash my chicken hand really quick, hold on. All right, so now you got the chicken in there. I'm gonna go ahead and add salt to the other side. And this is just kosher salt. This is my favorite, kind of like everyday salt to cook with. On my blog, I actually just put up another kind of whole article about like my favorite pantry staples, and one of them is kosher salt, and that's kind of my everyday cooking, salt that I use, as well as extra virgin olive oil, which I love to cook with daily. So I kind of put in like a number of different things. So go check that out, because I have a couple of things on there that like I can't live without in my pantry. So hi everyone, thanks for coming, thanks for being here. So I've got the chicken cooking over like a medium heat, and I'm gonna let those go for about 4 minutes. I'm not looking to cook the chicken through completely, because it's actually gonna finish easy for me to say. It's actually gonna finish cooking in the sauce at the end. All I'm looking to do is cook it maybe like 85–90% through. So it's gonna need a couple minutes per side. I'm gonna grab some tongs. If I have some tongs. I don't have tongs. I have 2 sets of tongs and they're both missing. All right, we have tongs. So if you let the chicken set, then you make sure that you're not, gonna have it stick. So I'm gonna give that another minute to get some nice color on it. And like I said, if you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Hi everyone. Hi. What are these? All right, so basically this ingredient involves cream. It's heavy cream, it's pesto, it's Gorgonzola cheese, and the pesto I actually already made. So the pesto, and you can, kind of take like an easy weeknight and, get a jar of pesto if you'd like, but I actually had all the ingredients, and I had some basil in the fridge I needed to use. So this is actually just homemade pesto, and it has basil, some toasted pine nuts, salt and pepper, extra virgin olive oil, a squeeze of lemon. Actually, I put a little bit of parsley in there as well, and then a ton of basil, and then blended it all up in my Vitamix, and I love it. I mean, I could honestly like eat this by the spoonful. I love homemade pesto, so it's just so bright and fresh. So if I have all the ingredients, I love to just kind of like, make it myself. So we've got mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, garlic, shallots, and then the pasta. And you can use any pasta you like. I'm gonna use penne pasta tonight. So really, that's really nice. I do like it when the sauce kind of like gets tucked in all the little nicks and crannies, and then you can eat it that way. So that's why I chose penne tonight, but bow tie pasta is also really nice. So for the chicken, let's see, it should be ready to flip. And I'm gonna bring you over. So as you can see, that's getting some nice color on there. You can turn it easily without it sticking, even though it's stainless steel and not stainless. All right. And I'm gonna let that go for another 4 minutes or so. And then we'll remove it to a separate plate so that we can get going with the rest of the recipe. Hi everyone. What's everyone making for dinner tonight? Or maybe you already ate. The joke around here is we eat late. So actually our kids aren't even home, but I love eating together. My husband's out of town. I have a daughter at work, a son at basketball practice, and another one outside playing. So anyway, maybe you guys already ate. It's 7 o'clock. What time do you guys eat? We eat late. We eat like 7:30, 8. I say 7:30. The kids always say, Mom, we never eat at 7:30. We always eat at 8. So I don't know. That's what time we eat. I feel like if we eat too early, then everyone wants a snack at like 9 p.m. and that like really doesn't work for me. So, all right, this chicken should be ready to pull off. And then I'm just gonna set it aside. Like I said, even if it's about 90% of the way cooked through, it's gonna kind of continue to cook as it rests. And I'm just gonna add in a little bit more extra extra virgin olive oil. Turn the heat down a little bit. We've got a lot of smokage happening. And some butter, and next going in are the mushrooms. So I'm gonna add a little bit of butter. And the reason you add in extra virgin olive oil and butter is so that you bring the smoke point down. So the extra virgin olive oil has a higher smoke point than butter does. So if you use just butter, then you might end up burning them. So it kind of adds the best of both worlds. It gives you the higher smoke point, but also the flavor of the butter. I'm gonna add in, I just have some sliced, these are sliced white button mushrooms. And I'm gonna let those just sit for a minute, and actually not going to even season them yet. And the reason why, the minute you add salt to a vegetable, it starts to kind of sweat and release some of its juices. And so when you add salt to it, then you end up making like your mushrooms kind of like, they could be soggy or waterlogged or whatever. So I'm gonna let them get some golden brown edges before I add in the salt and pepper. But I'm gonna give them a little stir. And they're actually doing a job also of releasing some of the beautiful brown bits on the bottom. So that's what I love about this kind of a one-pan meal, is that you can cook the chicken and then all those delicious flavors you kind of have like all in the same pan together. So then you don't want those to go to waste. So why use a new pan when you can use the same pan and then add in some of your other ingredients. So there's the mushrooms now. Those are doing their thing. While those are cooking, I'm going to show you really quickly. I've already diced up the garlic, but I'm going to dice a shallot. So with the shallot, you really just want to treat it just like you do when you have an onion. So I always peel it and make it so that you are dealing with like a flat end, so that it's safer, that you can use your hands to kind of like guide the knife through this way. And then you just make cuts, again, just like if you were cutting like a regular onion, and then dice through this way. Always tuck your fingers. And this is another ingredient, the shallots and the garlic, that I don't add in right away. And the reason for that is that if you add them from the beginning, they're gonna get burned and they're gonna get bitter. So I wait until I add in the seasoning to add in the shallots and the garlic. So I think that these guys are probably ready for getting nice and brown, which is exactly what we want. So I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper to them now. I'm gonna add in the shallots. And again, I'll bring you over in just a minute as soon as I have a free hand. I need an assistant. I need to like put a kid to work or something, right? Hi everyone. All right, so in goes the shallots. I'm gonna let the shallots kind of like hang out for a minute before I add the garlic. And I'm actually gonna switch to a wooden, I like to use a wooden scraper because then you can like scrape up some of the brown bits on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit more extra virgin olive oil to the pan. Getting a little bit dry. A little bit of extra virgin olive oil. Okay. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna do is start the pasta water. I actually kind of cheated and like sort of preheated it. Hi everyone. I kind of sort of cheated a little bit and preheated because that water takes forever to start boiling. So I am making, for everyone who's just joining, I'm making my chicken pesto gorgonzola. This is a family favorite. The kids love it. We only eat it every couple of months because it's one of those indulgent meals with gorgonzola cheese and heavy cream and pasta, but It's so delicious. It's one that I recreated from one of our favorite restaurants that the kids have been having since they were like little. And I was like, well, if the kids are eating something with gorgonzola in it and they're enjoying it, then I may as well try to figure out how to make it at home. So now I'm gonna add the garlic. The shallots have had enough time on their own. I'm gonna add the garlic in. And then this really just needs like a minute. Just for the garlic to kind of like heat through. All right, there's those. We've got water that's gonna be coming back up to a boil. I'm gonna turn that up. So I'm gonna turn off the mushrooms and put them into a separate bowl, because that's really all they need to do. So I'm gonna put them in here. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. The garlic and the shallots. I mean, is there like a better smell ever on planet Earth? I don't know. All right, so there's the mushrooms. Now the chicken's done. The mushrooms are done. And we're just gonna wait. The pasta water shouldn't take too long because, like I said, I sort of had it started already. So, thank you for everyone who's here. Hi. So anyway, if you're just joining us, we're making chicken pesto gorgonzola. We've got chicken that I sliced through. Seasoned with salt, sliced through horizontally so that it would cook quicker. And it's now just kind of resting because I'm gonna end up chopping that up a little bit later. I've got pasta water that needs to be salted. So I've not salted this yet, and you always want to salt your pasta water. And it's no joke with like the whole salty, like the sea that you hear. I guess I filled it a little bit too full. I'm inserting pyrotechnics into my Instagram live for your viewing pleasure. So salt like you mean it, not like here's salt, like put in a few big pinches. Because you will notice a big difference in the flavor of your pasta. So you're cooking the pasta in the salted water, you're immediately seasoning it, you're just adding layers of flavor. So this is ready to go. I'm gonna add the pasta. This is the pasta that I'm using tonight. Penne pasta. It needs to cook for about 10 minutes. So that's going in. For 10 minutes. Okay, so the next thing that's gonna happen is that after that pasta is done, it's gonna get added to this same pan. So while that's cooking, the other thing I'm gonna do is add in some heavy cream and some Gorgonzola cheese. That'll get a chance to kind of like simmer and, you know, kind of warm through and meld together. So I'm gonna take this same pan again, and add in a pint of heavy cream. And this is gonna be over like a medium-low heat. And again, this recipe is on my site, so it's at aliromero.com. And it's something that I've been making for years. So, and I've done it for a lot of my corporate virtual cooking classes during COVID. That has been a lot of fun. So I've taught a lot of people how to make this. And then pre-COVID, this is a recipe I used to make with Heston out at various Bay Area Williams-Sonoma stores. So this has been like around for quite a while, this recipe. Like it's always, the kids always get really excited when I say I'm gonna make it because I don't make it that often. So the cream is gonna get a little bit warmer, and then I'm gonna add in the Gorgonzola cheese. I've got Gorgonzola cheese that I'm gonna add in as soon as that kind of gets going. I'm gonna give our pasta a little stir just to make sure it's happy, doing its thing. Which it is. I'm gonna try to turn it up a little bit without it overflowing, so we'll see kind of how it goes. So, and then the other ingredients that are going in, these are just the sun-dried tomatoes that are packed in oil in a little jar. And I actually, you know, purposefully, when I scooped out some of the julienne sun-dried tomatoes, I also included some of the oil. It's got a great flavor, and And I figure why not? Because that's oil that, you know, you can use to cook with at the bottom of the jar. Like you can use that oil. It's just been sitting with sun-dried tomatoes. So it's kind of like, why not just use it, right? So these are the sun-dried tomatoes. And really, those are the rest of the ingredients. Oh, I know what we can do while we're waiting. We can lower the temperature on this now that it's up, as well as add the Gorgonzola cheese. I also have chicken stock going, so that was something I was working on earlier. So that's just kind of like a side project over there that I just did. Actually, it's going to be going on my YouTube channel. So I have a YouTube channel. So if you haven't seen it yet, aside from Instagram Live, I now have a YouTube channel. I have just a couple of videos up, but I'm going to start doing more of that. So I just thought I would, I'll enjoy watching you on Tyler Florence's show. Yes, great food truck race. Yeah, it's so much fun. So my YouTube channel is also going to have other content. Sometimes it's similar, sometimes it's different. Actually, I'm trying to figure out, hopefully I can do it this time because I wasn't able to. Last time I went live with Flora, my Meatball Mama partner, I wasn't able to figure out how to like save it and put that Instagram live on YouTube. But anyway, I redid it. So I have a few videos on my YouTube channel now. So this is going to just simmer. And the other thing I was going to tell you is that the next thing you can do is just kind of chop some of the herbs. Hi, Teresa. The next thing we can do is chop some of the herbs for the garnish. So I have some more basil that I did not use when I made the fresh pesto. And this is the easiest way to julienne basil. So you slice them all, and you do want to make sure that they're dry. So I rinsed them and kind of dried them as much as I could, because if you don't, then you could end up kind of like just mashing it and making it black, and it just isn't like nice and bright and green and pretty. So you want to roll it like as tight as you possibly can, and then use your knuckles as a guide and just thinly julienne the basil so that we have this ready to go for the garnish when it's all done. And then you've got all these beautiful strands of basil ready to go, nice and pretty. Hi guys, hello. Okay, and I'm also going to chop up a little bit of parsley because I like I should take that back. I hate Italian flat leaf parsley. Like if I have to eat it on its own, it tastes so grassy to me. Like it has no flavor, and I really, like, it's not something I would choose to eat alone. I don't know you would ever eat it by itself, but anyway, for whatever it's worth. But I do love it like as a garnish or with on a dish. So I do think it adds that kind of like nice little pop of freshness. So I'm okay with it if it's a garnish. I just like if I have leftover parsley and cilantro in the fridge, and I taste it to see because you know once you chop it up, it's even harder to tell which one's which, and it's parsley, I'm like, I go spit it out. But if it's cilantro, I'd eat that all day. Okay, so now we've got the herbs chopped up for the, yes, Teresa, you hate it too. Oh, you like the curly parsley. That's interesting, the curly parsley. I haven't bought that in years, but do you like the flavor of that? I don't really like flat leaf parsley flavor, but okay, so the Gorgonzola cheese is starting to melt into the heavy cream. I'll bring you for a little field trip. That light is kind of hard, huh? Okay, is that better? Not really. Okay. All right, pasta's cooking, and you just have to trust me that the cream is there. It kind of just looks like a white blob, I guess, right now, but it's the cream and it's the Gorgonzola melting together. Garnish is chopped. All right, what else? What else do you guys want to talk about? Nobody told me what they had for dinner tonight or what time they like to eat. These are the topics I wanted to discuss. Or great food truck race, which you have to wait for the next one, but we can talk about any of the last 3 episodes if you've seen them. And if you haven't seen it, where have you been? You need to get caught up and set your DVR. It's so much fun. I might be slightly biased because I'm on the show But we had such a great time in Alaska, and I mean, talk about a crazy, crazy cold adventure. Crazy. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do while I'm just waiting for the pasta to finish is I'm gonna chop up the chicken. Like I said, it's about like 85-90% cooked through. So it's gonna finish cooking in the sauce, so everything will continue cooking together, but you know, you don't wanna get the chicken to be like overcooked or dry or whatever. So I'm gonna cut up the chicken now. And this is all gonna get ready to go back in. All right, I need a fork. You always think you're gonna have like everything out that you need, and I swear like I triple checked everything, but there's always like little things that you don't realize that you're like, oh man, I forgot that. All right, I'm gonna cut this and then actually put it right back onto this same pan because like I said, it's gonna continue cooking in the sauce. I hear my water talking to me behind me over there. Okay, so this I'm just gonna cut into like, I'm gonna slice it tonight. Sometimes I slice it, sometimes I dice it, depending on my mood. How did I make the white sauce? Okay, so that, I had seared the chicken in the same pan, and then I removed it, and then I added in some extra virgin olive oil and some butter, and I cooked the mushrooms, the shallots, the garlic all together. Then I added in heavy cream and kind of tried with my trusty wooden spoon to kind of scrape up any of the brown bits on the bottom because that's all added flavor and just kind of building those layers. So that's what that is heavy cream. At this point, it's heavy cream and it's crumbled Gorgonzola cheese. So this is getting sliced and like I said, put back on the plate. And the pasta doesn't have too much long to go. And then it's just all getting put back together. So this is really easy. I mean, I think it's something that if you're ready to go, this is definitely something you could make like in maybe, I don't know if it's a 30-minute meal, but it might be like a 45-minute meal if you're super organized. So it's good for a weeknight and it's great for lunch the next day. So this is something that our family loves to eat. Like I said, I don't make it very often. So there's the pasta. So I'm gonna add the pasta straight into the cream mixture. Hi everyone, thanks for coming, thanks for being here. All right, chicken is all cut up, put back on the plate. And now I'm gonna add the pasta right into the cream sauce. And I need a towel for that because I'm sure it's gonna be hot. And I love this too because I'm able to strain the pasta right into the sauce. And then if I need more pasta water, I haven't like drained it all away. So pasta is going right in. How to get rid of that. That was a little bit warm. Okay. And then I'm going to stir around the pasta just to coat it with the cream and the Gorgonzola. So my homemade pesto, I don't add it in until the very end because if you add the pesto and you kind of cook it, then it's going to turn like brown, like yeah, I guess just kind of like a light brown color. It loses that, you know, like vibrant green color that it has. So this is why I'm going to add all of this back in and kind of just add the pesto in at the last minute. So again, when I have a free hand, I'm going to bring you over, but this is the pasta, this is the cream and the Gorgonzola, which have all at this point melted together. I'm gonna add in the chicken and the juices and bring up the heat because again, we're gonna finish cooking it. so that the chicken and the juices and all of that, everything is like fully cooked through. So I'm not gonna boil it, but I do wanna bring it up in temperature so that it's like at a nice constant simmer. I'm thirsty. Okay, so and turn that down just a little bit, brought it up, bring it down. Okay, so back into this are gonna go the mushrooms. So here's the pasta with the chicken. Sorry about that lighting. It seems kind of like it might be hard to see. All right, so this is all getting incorporated. And the next thing that's going back in are the sauteed mushrooms, shallots, and garlic. And that's all gonna get incorporated. I feel like I sometimes am the only one who eats all the mushrooms. We have a couple of kids who don't eat mushrooms, so sometimes I don't cut as many if it's just me, if my husband isn't here, because I know like I'm the only one who's gonna be eating them anyway. Okay, so here's a julienne tomatoes with some of that olive oil are going in. Mix it all around. All right. And then finally, let's see. So I'm gonna add in a little bit of the pasta water, and this will kind of just help bring it all together and kind of make like a beautiful sauce out of it, so that when I do add the pesto into it, it's gonna all, you know, really just like get in there together. So that's looking really good. That's gonna be good enough to eat. And let's see. Did I miss some questions? Okay. So you ever throw a couple of sun-dried tomatoes in there? Oh my gosh, yes, you're reading my mind. Great minds think alike, Teresa. Sun-dried tomatoes. Okay, so then the last thing to add is the homemade pesto. Like I said, weeknight, you want to do a jarred pesto, totally fine. Just make sure you wait until the very end so that so that you're not really like cooking the pesto very long. Actually, I'm gonna wait just to make sure the chicken, everything is cooked through. Then I'm gonna turn off the heat, and then I'm gonna add the pesto and incorporate it all, which is right about now. I'm gonna give it one last stir before I add in the pesto. Add in all the pesto. I made this before doing my live, and I mean, seriously, like, I could eat this by the spoonful. Can anybody else eat this? Is this something I shouldn't be admitting, like, in front of people? But, I mean, fresh basil and Parmesan cheese and extra virgin olive oil, and, like I said, in mine I put a little bit of parsley, and I also put, like, a half of a lemon, and then salt and pepper. Oh, and then I toast the pine nuts, too. So I toast the pine nuts just lightly, and then that's really it, and that's how I make my pesto. All right, so the heat is going off right now. And if I need this to incorporate more, I will add some more pasta water. I think I need to bring a bigger spoon in. That was not really getting the job done. Okay, just to make sure it's all incorporated. All of the pesto is mixed throughout. And then you see kind of how it keeps that like nice, fresh looking pesto look to it, and it didn't turn brown because we turned the heat off. And I'm gonna try a bite. Oh, and I'm also gonna drip on the floor because that's exactly what I wanted to do. And try not to burn my mouth. So good. It doesn't even need any more salt. I mean, I think I'll add a little bit more pepper because I love fresh cracked pepper over my pasta. See, I told you I could eat it by the spoonful. I just literally ate pesto. Okay, so I have our fresh basil and parsley that I chopped up. And then also, like, the kids aren't home yet, so I'm gonna keep it on the stove, and if it tightens up too much and you need to like loosen it up a little bit, just add a little bit more of that pasta water and just bring it up for a second, and it'll be like, boom, right back. So there's the parsley and the basil. Some fresh cracked pepper, because that's what I like. All right, so here it is. Chicken pesto gorgonzola. It's ready to go. So as soon as the kids get home. Oh, I forgot the money shot. I forgot the Parmesan cheese. Hold on a second. Hi, Christy. Hi, guys. Let's say hi to everyone. Okay, you're here for the finishing. You're here for the last finishing touch. You're here for the money shot. So your timing is perfect. If you just joined me, I just finished making my chicken pesto gorgonzola. The recipe is on my site at aliromero.com. This is something that I recreated from one of our favorite Italian restaurants. The kids all love it. My husband is out of town, and I don't make this very often because it's heavy cream, it's gorgonzola, it's pasta. But we're gonna live life, and we're gonna eat pasta tonight, and we're gonna love every minute of it. So I've got the shower of the Parmesan cheese going over the top. And then of course, this is not all the Parmesan cheese. This is like the first layer of Parmesan cheese. And then when everybody gets their own bowl, then everybody's gonna put more Parmesan cheese. But that's it. So I'll show you one more shot. There it is. Mushrooms, sun-dried tomatoes, fresh basil, parsley, homemade pesto, penne pasta, heavy cream, gorgonzola cheese. Really easy. I mean, what was that? 30, 45 minutes. You can get that done, and it's a delicious meal that I think everyone in your household will enjoy. So anyway, thanks for joining me tonight, and for coming in for this spontaneous Instagram live. I'm going to save it, or try to figure out how to save it, so that I make sure that it's viewable, and we'll cook again soon. Okay? Bye!